Hi Gemini, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your March 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description video for more details there. And for those of you who are new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic crossbred, and I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be astrologically speaking for the month. So we'll see what we get. Okay, so we have 11. So that's 11th house relates to friendships, the groups you're associated with, hopes and wishes. And for you guys, your 11th house is Aries. So we actually will have the Sun and Venus moving into Aries toward the end of March. So that would make sense. We also have Neptune. Neptune is actually in your 10th house of career and social status, and that's Pisces energy there. And we have Sagittarius. So this is actually your opposite sign. So it could be some focus around relationships. Maybe you'll be dealing with the Sagittarius, but that's what I see there. All right, so I'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. All right, in the main situation position, we have the Devil. So this is actually the major arcana card for Capricorn, which for you guys is your 8th house. So this can be, maybe a highly sexual connection that you guys might be involved in. But more so, I'm really feeling like this is, especially given the fact that, we're going to be in Pisces season, and then also the fact that you guys are going to have Mars coming into your sign, and there's going to be some interaction there. This could just be saying that you guys might be a bit obsessive when it comes to your career, or maybe just really tied up with your work, and that's really your singular focus right now. I think I got a similar message for you guys around that maybe last month or the month before, so that could be a theme that's coming back up again for you guys. But yeah, feels like there's a situation that you're really wrapped up in and almost have a singular focus on it. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the 8 of Cups, which is Pisces energy, the 7 of Swords, which is Aquarius energy, and the King of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy. So interesting to see these come up in the challenge position. Now, seeing this card primarily pop up first, related to the Devil, could be saying that, maybe you guys are aware that there's something you're really caught up in, as far as, like I said, maybe there's a job that you just feel like you're putting way too much focus and energy into, and you might not feel like you're, being compensated for the amount of work that you're putting in fairly. You might feel like they're withholding from you, or maybe there's been some outright deception where they might promise you one thing and then they end up doing another, as far as like raises and promotions, things along those lines. So you could really be considering walking away from that. If that's the case, that could even be how you were feeling. Well, at the time of recording this, we're not officially in Pisces season yet, but pretty much this represents the first 10 degrees of Pisces, so might have been feeling that as soon as we got into Pisces season, basically. Let's see what else comes to mind with this. And for others of you, I do have to say, given that there's 12th house energy at play here, given that this is Taurus energy for you guys, it could just also be saying that, be careful that you're not deceiving yourselves in some way around the situation. So I could also see you, for example, maybe leaving something that you had some emotional attachment to in the pursuit of something more, on the like financial level, where it's like, okay, maybe you go to a place that might pay more, but there might be a lot more work involved, or you might feel like it's not something you're passionate about, but you just go to it strictly for the money, basically, things along those lines. In the foundation position, we have the Emperor in reverse. So, Emperor can often point to a boss energy. So seeing that this is coming up in reverse, I feel like for a lot of you, this definitely is around your career in some way. And maybe there's some work conditions that you're not really satisfied with. The term that's coming to mind with this is red tape. So maybe you feel like there's a way you want to do things, but they might be a bit resistant to that, right? Maybe this is a company that's been around forever and they've always done things the same way, right? And you might be coming in here with fresh ideas that you want to see them implement, but there could be some resistance to that on their part. Now, for some of you, this could also represent that they might be having their own fall from grace in a way too. So, maybe there's some information coming to light about the way they have been doing things that haven't been too ethical. So, looks like there's definitely going to be a lot of workplace drama, especially not surprising given that we do see Neptune as one of your areas of focus, which is in your 10th house of career. And like I said, we're going to have both, the Sun and Venus in there. So, makes sense. And in the past position, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So, again, I'm feeling like this is a financially related reading for the majority of you. But what the Seven of Pentacles usually represents to me, I feel like it's a lot of comparison energy. So, this could be, for example, this guy only has that one pentacle, and he's looking at, well, how did this person get those six, right? Or maybe these are six that you've gotten, but you're really starting to question, do you want to put in the time, the energy, and effort that it would create, that it would take to create an additional six, right? So you could just be feeling like, okay, is the amount of work that I'm putting in worth the return on investment? Now, keep in mind, again, like I was saying with the King of Pentacles too, that this is more Taurus energy too. So, you guys have had Mars moving through there and Uranus. So to have those energies in your 12th house, there could definitely be a little bit of not seeing the situation too clearly too. So something to keep in mind there. In the present position, we have the King of Cups. So this is actually Scorpio energy, and for you guys, that is your 6th house of work, daily routine, even health. But the term that comes to mind with this for me is alone on an island, right? Because it looks like he's kind of in that throne there in the middle of the water. So again, I feel like this is what I was saying earlier, where you guys might feel like you're alone on an island in a certain situation where, you might want to see some changes within your work environment, but they could be really resistant to it, right? Maybe everyone else is just going along with the way things have been done, where you're trying to innovate in some way, and there's some resistance around that. And again, if this is around romantic connection as well, could be that too, where there's just a lot of highly sexual energy within the connection there. All right. In the near future position, we have the Five of Swords. So this is actually Aquarius energy here. And this energy usually represents deception as well, kind of like the Seven of Swords that we saw in the challenge position. So there's definitely some deceptive energy at play. Now, for some of you, this could be you wanting to cut ties in a situation. But, if that's the case, you might want to question if this is the best way to go about it. It's worth noting, too, that Saturn is in these degrees of Aquarius that this card represents. So, excuse me, could just be saying that karmically, you want to be careful around that type of approach around the situation, too, But this could just be the environment that you're in. Maybe it's a very cutthroat environment, and that could be some of the difficulty that you're encountering in the situation as well. But yeah, always an energy to be mindful of, especially given that we did have that Mercury retrograde. It's technically just about to wrap up at the time I'm recording this, but given that this is Aquarius energy and we had that retrograde there, a lot of karmic energy in that house. All right. And in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Ace of Wands. So again, there's that energy there where I feel like you guys are really just ready for a fresh start in a situation. Now, it can be within your current environment where, like I said, maybe you guys are trying to, you're proposing these innovative ideas to them and they're just not really picking up on it for whatever reason, and there could be some frustration there. For others of you, this could just represent you wanting to just leave the situation altogether, right? Because you're like, okay, well, there's a clash between what they want to do and how I want to do things. So you could just really be considering, if you can make that happen, to just change the scene altogether. All right. In the environment position, we have the Hierophant. So this is actually Taurus energy again. So a lot of Taurus energy here. So this can be a Taurus you could be dealing with for some of you. But again, I feel like this is more pointing to the energies that we were talking about, energetically speaking, that representing your 12th house. And the fact that you have had that Mars transit through there, and now basically Mars is going to be moving into your sign early in March. So it could just be one of those things too, where your mind just might have had a ton of ideas flowing through you during that transit, and maybe still are having those ideas flowing through you, but maybe having some difficulty around implementing it. So that could be how this is playing out for you guys too, where just ideas have been coming to you left and right, but maybe the time to actually act on those ideas hasn't been right. And maybe when Mars does move into your sign with that Ace of Wands there, that could be saying energetically that would be a better time to actually bring those out into the open. So it could even be where maybe the ideas are coming to you, but they're not fully formed yet. So when you try to explain them to other people, there could be some misunderstanding, especially like we said, given that there was the retrograde energy going on. So it has been a bad mixture of energies there. But again, with this in the environment too, though, this does represent the tried and true, right? The doing the same thing the same way for a long time, traditions, right? So this could definitely be pointing to what I was saying for those of you where you might feel like there's some red tape involved, where you're trying to implement some new ideas, but it's being met with a lot of resistance. So something to keep in mind there. And for others of you, this could just be saying also to trust, intuition in the situation and have a little bit of faith around the situation as well, that things will work out. And finally, for some of you, if this is that connection that I was talking about, like a one-to-one connection, this could represent that this person could actually, see some long-term potential within the connection. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Nine of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy, and the Page of Wands. So it's interesting to see these two cards come up because I feel like this is kind of pointing to what I was saying, where it looks like there's a desire on your part for a fresh start around something, but at the same time, maybe there's some resistance to it. But again, this could be pointing to that same thing too, where I was saying, you guys are bringing fresh ideas to the table, and it feels like there could just be some resistance to those ideas. So that could be what that's pointing to there, where you feel like, okay, trying to improve processes around here, or bring some fresh energy into it, but it's being met with resistance. So that could be what you guys are feeling as well. Let's see if anything else comes to mind with that combination. Not really. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Magician in reverse, the Fool in reverse, and the King of Wands in reverse. So interesting energies here. The Magician naturally points to having all the tools at your disposal and actually being able to manifest some new things. The Fool would actually represent similar energy as far as actually taking that action toward a new thing. And then the King of Wands, usually represents that confidence. And then this could also represent boss energy as well, like I was saying with the Emperor in reverse. So this can relate to them in that case too. But also for you guys, this is your Leo energy represents your third house communication. So this could just be saying that you guys might actually just shut down. As far as you might just say, you know what, I'm not even going to speak on my ideas anymore, So for some of you, might close off a little bit. For others of you, could just be saying that, again, you just might continue to feel a bit misunderstood regarding this situation. Even for me, quite frankly, this reading in general, this seems very weird. So maybe that's the energy that you guys are just in right now. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. But yeah, I will say if this is around, like I said, a work environment where maybe there's been a boss that hasn't been on the up and up, that could definitely come to light this month. So that would be a more positive way that could play out. So something to keep in mind there. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So it's definitely that energy around you of fresh starts, but looks like the timing just isn't right. So that's probably the main takeaway to get from this, that it's not that these things can't shift for you, it's just that right now the timing might not be the best. And maybe as we get closer to Aries season toward the end of March, that might be a better time to actually act on these things. So hopefully that resonates with you. And moving on to the Oracle cards, we have Milk and Honey. So there's the artwork for it. And the number is 51. I will say the energy of that card doesn't really seem to match this spread very well. Like I said, this is a very weird spread. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So could be one of those things where for a very small group of you, it's going to resonate really well. And then the rest of you might be like, what is he talking about right now? If that's the case, I totally get it. Believe me. But Essential meanings, it says the taste of prosperity, opportunities born of authenticity, nurturing abundance, trusting that your needs will be met. The Oracle's message, you've entered a sweet time in your life, enjoying the land of milk and honey that everyone wants to experience. It's an interlude that feels more languid than ambitious when all your senses are awake to the unlimited possibilities in the universe. These times are precious and only come when you're in your authentic zone, wearing the world as a moose garment, not wanting, yet able to be nourished in ways both tangible and subtle. Abundance is an energy that you are a living part of. All your needs are being met. You are given the gift of nourishment in every form. So, an interesting message there, and definitely sounds positive, right? Like, I'm not necessarily seeing that playing out in the main spread. So, again, it could just be what I was picking up on to an extent as well, which is to say the fresh start energy is there, but it could just be a timing thing. And if that's the case, it could just be telling you, not to push it too hard. Like, okay, just try to have a little faith that, yes, you might feel like things are stuck right now, but especially as you do start to have Mars flow through your sign, that might actually give you that push you need to actually put those things out there in the world. All right, the relationship message says sensuality, connection, and passionate romance between lovers, sweet moments of understanding, and love among friends and family are all here for you to savor now. Your heart's calling will be answered. Let your thoughts and feelings be sweet with gratitude, and you will be nourished with the honey of abundance. So, pretty positive message there as well. And I did say that, for some of you, it definitely does feel like there could be a highly sexual connection going between you and another person. And maybe even there is that desire to bring it to the next level. If not from both of you, at least it looks like the person you're dealing with might be feeling that way. The prosperity message says there is only one authentic you. This version of yourself is Spirit's emissary in the world. When you're in alignment with the truth that you are a unique expression of the divine, your ego can rest and your soul can illuminate your purpose. Now is the time when you're seeking your true north. When you find this direction, you automatically step into prosperity and the world brings you evidence of abundance. Miracles are a choice and a way of seeing the world. With every choice you make right now, you have the potential to seize good fortune and embrace your destiny. Opportunities will lead you to your best life now. Be open to them. You're getting a sweet taste of what you want. So an interesting message there, I will say, when it focused on saying that there is only one authentic you, that brought me back to what I was saying, to where with the King of Cups energy, you guys might feel like you're on an island regarding a certain situation, right, where you're the only one who's kind of seeing things from your perspective. And if that's the case, like I said, the key there might be to not push it necessarily, just give it a little bit more time and see if things start to move in a more positive direction with a little bit more time passing. Especially, like I said, we do have the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck and the Ace of Wands, so it could just be saying that, these are things that need a little bit more time to grow. And I will say, because like I said, this is kind of a weird looking funky spread, so I will read the protection message as well, which technically is for when it comes in reverse, but even though it didn't, I'll just see. Maybe this will resonate with some of you as well. It says, a nameless unease compels you to turn to pleasure and comfort as a means to escape what's really going on. It works in a moment, but only fleetingly, before the feelings return and you need to re-up until you're exhausted. Feeling worse than before, you may continue struggling, or you may see the light and choose to surrender to spirit. Now is the time for practicing extreme self-care. If you can, do so before you engage in behaviors you'll regret later. You are so loved, so cared for. Feel love and compassion for yourself. Turn your troubles over to the divine for healing. That's all that counts right now. So an interesting message there, because that makes me think of the Devil card. For some of you might represent some kind of an addictive energy that you guys might have and maybe getting into those bad habits. And then if that's the case, that could be what it's saying there with the Hierophant in the environment, which is to say, that you might have to put a little bit more trust in the spirit and actually just ride the energy out that way. So if that is the situation, hopefully that resonated with you. And finally, we have a Mudra card. So the Mudra you guys got for this month is the Mandala Mudra, and the keyword for it is vision. All right, and there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. But it's under benefits. It says awakens supreme devotion and enlightened attitude, improves concentration, evokes insight into the transitory nature of all things, serves as a physical expression of your own original nature. So if that resonated with you guys, I will put the name and the mudra in the description of the video as always. Once again, like I said, it's kind of a weird spread, so hopefully it resonated with someone. But we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.